side because I see a lot of cars that parking lot over there.
Oh, great.
You'll be okay.
Of course, we see that Peter's not here right now.
Say anything.
It'll be Julia and me. So in the back, you'll notice again before me that there are draft minutes that have been written down, and we will need to take a vote on that. So if people would please just a quick read backside. Okay. So we need to see if there is approval of the minutes. Please second me.
I move we approve the minutes as written.
A second.
Okay. So we'll need to take a vote on that. So everybody in favor of the meeting minutes, raise your hand. Can't vote. And are there any objections? Any nays? Okay. And okay. You listen, haven't been here before, so if you wouldn't mind just at least giving us your name if you can, since we didn't do that the first meeting, and just to listen where you live.
Want me to start with me?
Sure.
Hi there, I'm Pete Picardo. I live right next to Ben White Florist, so at 115 Coleman Street. I actually used to live in Dawson when I was a young child, and then went to college, and then came back. So
Good choice.
there we go.
I'm Paula Cox. I own a house but don't live in the neighborhood. I own a house on Powell Circle and I've had it for close to 20 years, right across the street from Dawson, which I'm a huge fan of Dawson Elementary.
And I don't know, your name, this your first time here?
Me?
Yes.
Nope, I've been here for the last 2.5 years.
Okay. Okay, thanks. And just need to fill out that.
I was here last time. It's all good.
Yes, be that way. Okay, anybody else? Did it up side of it?
Again, Wendy, I was on 26 on Dawson, across from my condos. I've been here for about 3.5 years. This is my first meeting. I was pregnant and had a baby and I know.
Congrats.
Well, thanks for you all joining us, and those that will return.
If you're new, make sure to sign that.
There's a different rule on this meeting than on the other one. The other one, you just have to show up to vote, but in this one, there's work that needs to be done. We ask that you sign up and have been there at least once the last 12 months to be able to vote.
Yeah, even if you're not new, you should sign.
So just,
I don't want to contradict the vice chair, but actually if you've been here in the last 3 years, you are automatically reactivated once you've signed in, and you can vote at that meeting. But you may be suspended if you haven't been here in a year, but it's kind of functionally purposeless. If you've been here in the last 3 years, you're automatically, like I said, reactivated. Again, apologies to the vice chair. But they've let people,
okay,
they've let people
So-
know when they're reactivated.
the,
And the bylaws don't say that.
so for old business, we'd like to make sure we understand that Member Bucky's are back there, people don't know who they are. They came to us and asked for a conditional use change, and we, this last time, voted for it, and we went to the planning meeting, and it was approved.
You're a who?
Yeah, Andy's marketing the newsletter.
Come over there.
Yeah, I've just got a curious thought on me too. Y'all had to move your production to Denver to get the stuff going right now. How far along? I noticed you laid cement last week.
that information that could just be emailed to all of us?
I can put it up on the listserv and we can tell them.
Would it be accurate to say that the city is trying to make plan contact teams more uniform with regards to how they operate and maybe even their bylaws?
Possibly, the bylaws at this point already are pretty uniform. We had to change ours to conform to their template. Whether they're going to make substantial changes in the template, they haven't said specifically. But apparently, I was emailing with the guy from the city, and what he basically said is, we're at the planning to plan stage. It's, all very.
There's been 2 meetings, meetings with the city council going over this with our city council member being one of the most vocal points on this, trying to decide how to handle this. There are some people that want to have the contact team actually allow people not in the neighborhood to have a voice in what the neighborhood does and things. They're trying to get this thing supposed to work better with code next and all, and they're trying to rein in some free will and things that are going on. But some of the stuff, from what I understand, there's several different things that you see in the PET pieces. That there's some of the people on the east side are not staying as true until people establish some problems with some of the other people trying to get things straight down in there. They haven't come at us and said anything that we know about any kind of problem. They were going to decide and send in their bylaws. They approved the bylaws to there. They said some of them are not living up to that. It's all, again, the contact team, just to make sure you understand, is the group that meets with the city, meets with developers, anybody who wants to do anything in there, and make sure the best that they can that it meets with what the neighborhood plan has down in it. And then at that point, something will be, then they will get back together with you guys, like we've done with the monkey and other things, to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. We cannot change things that they're doing with right down the line, like they are light industrial. If they're doing that, they don't have to send any information out to us or the city and things like that, so they're allowed to do that. But when they want changes to that, any kind of changes, they have to meet with us. So,
Is the city thinking of imposing standards upon plan contact teams that they'll have to adhere to? And if so, is there any punitive action if they fail to?
yes, that was the other thing too, is they're trying to still decide how to do this. And again, this is all part of match and part of code next. They are saying that they aren't following, the city is supposed to take more control of even rapidly fall, which for us, they really have not been. It's been us going to land to find out. All they do is send out notices that I know, to let us know that other people are doing things in there, but they haven't come back to us. They aren't going to do anything with the plum right now itself or anybody until they finish up with most of the city, from what I've read. So ours has been inactive for 10 years at least, and nothing's been done on it, which they're still trying to deal with that. It was in the, I think, one of the KT things, or the monitor mentioned. There's a lot of things that have been going on, stuff I think we haven't had done yet, how far behind the city is on getting things implemented. There's a lot of things that we're still fighting over sidewalks and things. There's a lot of stuff on our side we've not gotten touch base and all, and they did say within that article too, the monitor, I believe it was, that the city's trying to do for to clean up some of these things. It's a lot of money issue too, and things, and they have said that there are some that they want to make sure that everybody's sort of following the rules that have been set for this. And things, and I don't know really exactly what that means. There's many meetings put in there about some trying to do things that they're not allowed to do anything that's really not part of your plan.
Do you think we would be in a position to object to any of their standards?
I don't know exactly what they are fully. They've only had 2 meetings. They're having a meeting on Saturday, and I believe it's the following Monday night that they're going to have yet another one to try and get out. Which is like a lot of people couldn't meet to do these things. There's several things the city's doing on, I think they did the next thing on that Saturday too. And they talk about planning the thinking parks, that's what it is. There's a lot of things happening right now, and it's great. The city rarely gives us this much notice for things. They give us 2 week notice. how can we not allow something, which we want our neighborhood to not be there, but they may want on the other side. As you remember when we first started doing this, we were not really allowed to touch the edges of our neighborhood because the other side had not formed their plan, they had not formed.
Like a buffer zone,
Huh?
like a buffer zone between neighborhood plan
It's
zones?
just that we put something on one side, they get put something on the other side. We are also the unique position that we have corridors, we have 4 corridors surrounding us. Some of them responsible to TxDOT, and every one of them leads into the city where it's a crossroad. Except we're such a small area that, well, we try to decide in the little areas, and also we're such a small area that anything that gets done in there affects it very quickly. So we don't have much of a buffer zone for the inner neighborhood like some other ones do. Some neighborhood groups are larger, and they went together as a group, which we about that. We were the first one in this area, we were the first ones in the city to get involved in this and to do a plan. It took us a long time. We found out later they had not finished the plum until years later when they came back to us. But after all the fighting and victory was done, we just voted it in. Was going on. There's still some repercussions from that. So these are them trying to figure out things. Again, how does the city going to function? Well, we have 60 different groups telling them what to do. Imagine certain point, how we can imagine code. And so, do we want like developers and others to come into our areas and tell us what to do to a certain point where we're going to have a wasteland? I think this is a big problem that I know. And I thought that we should have doing was at least have a say, because again, planning, ours are only recommendations of what we wanted to do. It's planning and the city council and all of them that make the final decisions in the long run. We can't tell anybody what to do. We're only a volunteer group. We can tell them what we'd like to have done.
Well, we're going to make our voice heard so they
So that's just.
don't run us out of our neighborhoods.
But they don't want individuals, they want groups and things like that. They're trying to figure out how to manage that in the city to win this mess. And they should see how much things are happening in our own neighborhood right now with different developments, houses going in and out, somebody's land being changed, being sold for big price. So that's pretty much what's happening with this. And again, there are 2 meetings that are being done with this.
Thank you, Marty.
They can send out notices on short-term rentals for effective by. We have one in Wilson that just notified us that they are doing it. There's other people told me in the neighborhood that they are being affected by it. Nobody talked about it in this house. We thought it was a couple of lines that they come out. Since I live close to it, I got a notice that the house on Wilson will be coming into a short-term rental at some point. So it's just a thing to be aware of that the city is still, again, on at least their second meeting, and I don't think it's ever finished up saying exactly what they not a really hard thing to do for the last few years because there wasn't much happening. But it now turns out that Dawson is to buy into like the pretty much south. Lamar, if you've seen it, is pretty much gone. And so there's a lot of houses and things that get built in there. And we're starting to put face to those things. I don't know if I can walk down the street now and ask if it changed recently or there are at least one or two houses being sold on them right now. So it's just sort of thing we have to be active on and pay attention to. And it's better if we can spread it out. For me, at least, I think, to spread it out with everybody. So we're just keeping an eye on what's going on. Just not to try and squash anything. It's just to be aware of what's in our neighborhood. It's an important thing to do. Just like crime, just like there's been cars being hit on Alpine. Another one was hit a couple days ago. Again, that kind of stuff gets out of control. Somebody hit, like I said, Jerry's house. Somebody drove all the way down Pippa Road, ran through his fence, hit the end of the road, almost all the way to his house. It's the second time this happened. Guy backs out, you can follow a trail of oil going right back to the house where the person parked his car. The person came back, got some of the parts he left behind. And when he went over to look at it, there's scrapes all outside, there's a metal fence, and there's a tire out on it. I don't know what's been done since then, but he literally just ran through the side of the fence. There's dogs there and stuff like that. If we got any further, he would have been inside the house. So there's a lot of people leaving late at nights and stuff like that. They don't understand it. Just like the streets are dark, Pickle Road is a dead end. We have people, we try to call them bumps. They work somewhat, not everybody has them. So there's things we have to be aware of, watch out when things happen. People getting their houses broken into, somebody's reporting it in. The next door, things like that, we need to be diligent about reporting it to the cops because that's how people know what's going on. That's how the cops decide how they control. We now have one of those that's back with us. So if we have those kind of needs like that, we can get a hold of him. And he just came on, and Chad and I were there last week. It was one of his first days getting back to working with us. And you saw him 2 meetings ago, he still had a thing on his arm to get himself back in the rotator gun or something like that. So we just need to, again, be a little bit diligent with our neighborhood. This is probably something more important need before that, but
Just,
at least make sure people understand what's going on. So what we got.
may I add, Mr. Vice Chair? I wanted to say that the National Night Out organization provides a framework for 3 different movements, really. One is related to having the National Night Out event. Another is related to Project 365, which is the community focusing on and addressing crime spots in the area. And a third one is a framework for having neighborhood watches. They call it the dog watch, but you can be on bike or on foot. And it's an opportunity for us to address these things in a more formal framework. Just a possibility. Another reason I want to get people to sign the sign-up sheet and start a committee based on National Night Out's program. That's all.
Okay, so as it goes out, these things are open nominations for people that want to be in APB once every other month or so to just discuss a few things, to try and figure things out before we meet the others with y'all's group. We got a better understanding of what's going on with it. And then when there are things to be said, we would bring people to the group itself and we would try to get a road and some of the things that are going on here. So that's pretty much what contact him again, not do anything that does not reflect the neighborhood plan. Again, vary from that at all. It's very restrictive in its own way, but it's our best way of making sure that we're really interested as an outreach to the city itself. And so we have 4 people, 3 people returning.
Here's the shine.
Huh? So
Regardless.
Marissa, and Chad Dawson, they're still there.
Yeah, so it's a 2-year term, and so Marissa, myself, and Sos are, we've served 1 year, so we're not eligible. I mean, we don't have to be re-elected, we've got 1 year, so.
And it has never been that we need really necessarily 10 people on here, but it's just, again, that it's more important that we, that spread things
I nominate Jovita Pardo. Jovita?
Okay.
Sorry, your last name?
Pardo, P-A-R-D-O.
I nominate myself, Chad Vanderlinden.
Disability. So,
I nominate Donna now. Donna. Okay.
Isn't there a rule that says you can't be in it again if you put it?
No, there's no term limit,
two terms.
2 terms of 2 years.
Right.
really.
So, I nominate myself, Mark Brown.
Wait, are both of y'all about to have to run again?
We're going to run again.
Can I nominate one of y'all?
Sure.
Okay, I nominate Julie Woods.
Then I'll nominate Mark.
We have no people.
Huh?
Are you home?
I'm a renter, actually.
Yay.
Want to make sure we still, because again, the more we have, especially when we divide this thing around, it's all better for us. We have people to contact, people to report to. We hopefully people looking out for the neighborhood itself and can keep track of a lot of those things. Can help the neighborhood run a lot better. That's the main thing we're all here for. Okay, what do you think?
I nominate Peter Davis as extension, because he can't say that.
How many nominations?
He's in England right now.
I know, right? Definitely.
So, with the reorganization.
Yeah, we're full staff.
Okay? Does that sound good?
Anyone else? They don't, you do not have to be here to be nominated. You can nominate people who are not here. Like I was here. Okay?
Pretty much all I know.
Yeah, I believe that's.
Okay.
Would you read back the list of nominees, please?
3 members' terms continue for another year. That's Sos Palomo, Rusev, and Chad Kaufman. These are the folks who don't have to be rated to keep your term continues. New board members are Jovita Pardo, Chad Vanderlinden, Greg Anderson, Donna Knapp, Omar Rivera, Julie Woods, Marty Harris, Peter Davis. I didn't miss anyone.
And how many is that total?
It's my understanding that of the 7 open positions, 5 of them are for 2 years and 2 of them will be for 1 year. As one of them,
Last year, we enlarged the group. That was the only reason. So now it goes on 2 years at all times.
all 7 of these can be 2-year terms?
Yeah.
Okay. The 3 folks continuing though are finishing out a year?
Right, the means is to have continuation of people involved in it so that there's a passing on of knowledge and things like that rather than
Yes.
switch it completely because of needing to understand part of the code and things that are going on in the city.
Yes, but when an officer resigns, another officer is elected to replace her or him to finish their term. And we have an officer that resigned halfway through,
Well,
leaving a DMPCT board term of 1 year.
We said we would like to have 10 members or no absolute rule, saying that it has to list or something with the city and all like that.
Yeah, but half of those 10 should overlap the other half.
As much as possible.
So,
We started new in December, and then before February meeting, the group gets together and next conversation.
so does it present any problem to elect 7 2-year terms this year and with 3 3 2-year terms ending after another year? It means next year there'll only be 3 open positions instead of 5 as usual.
No, the main thing is to have continuation. If you want to draw straws, we can draw straws, or something like that. But the main thing was the last year, when we opted this thing, we decided that we wanted, in order to continue to ask people opt in and say they do it for just a year, and other ones that they do it for 2 years. The main thing again is that we somehow, just like they do, want to go, there's a complete shift over or something. I don't know if there's any split cut, it doesn't specify that anywhere.
Okay, so as it stands right now, we're looking at 7 2-year terms that nominations are being taken for tonight.
And
I
is there a
understand.
cap to the number on this committee?
Not really, just, we are asking for a minimum that says up to 10. I don't know if it's even still that anywhere. I just know we're more concerned about making sure it's spread out into the areas, and the city would like us to have different types of people in there. Well, our idea was that we wanted to have it spread out, so again, we can all watch ourselves. It's important for us to have a business person and a renter, just so we can get that idea, because otherwise it's just property owners to certain points.
And is it 10? I know I asked how many that was, but I don't
10 or
know.
11 right now.
We did confirm that.
It's not a big deal. You have enough, is what I'm saying. What I'm thinking is more, I think it's better to have a few more people than just a small group of people, because I do think these planning teams are influential with city council, and I like the idea of having a lot of
The
representation.
other problem is to get large enough that we can, how are you, get 20 people into the meeting?
No, but 10 is a good number for making decisions.
I'd rather not make that one final.
No, that's okay.
Here is, basically,
If we don't really put that stuff in there, it's never really been an issue.
yeah.
The bylaws says that the board shall have at least 6 seats. So that's a starting point. I don't see an upper threshold specified.
And there are specifications on those 6 seats. One has to be a renter, one has to be a board
Well,
member.
it's best as a friend.
Yeah, I read it as a recommendation rather than a mandate.
It's hard to require that of a smaller group of people, which is better for us if we do, especially with the city, meeting with them, we try to.
Turns out with this slate, we actually might actually finally meet.
Was that?
With this slate, we actually might finally meet our recommendation that we set for ourselves.
Again, the best we can do as a group is try to get recommendations as a consensus to them in the long run. Because again, we're just changing things to go through the city to do what they want to all the time. Things that, yeah, y'all may be able to listen to this as a group. With, again, they have not, board group is not recommendations on their own. They get together and try and get it, so it's a whiteboard to meet together as a group. And recipients you call and then
Is the nomination portion of the meeting over?
yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to allow the DMPCT board to expand beyond 10 if all of the currently nominated candidates remain candidates through the election. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but all you need to do that, this meeting and have it done and processed. Right? To make something to change the bylaw.
To change the bylaws, we have to,
Recommend it and vote on it next meeting.
that's right. And we do know that this is the
Not
next
sure.
year.
No, wait. You're saying the bylaws does say that we can have no more than 10 board members?
No, what I'm saying is that the bylaw says that if we want to amend the bylaws, we can't do it within the same meeting. We have to make the recommendation and then vote it at the next meeting, which will be February.
I'm not requesting a change to the bylaws. I'm just requesting a affirmation that we won't limit ourselves to 10. Yes, as we have 8 eager candidates, we would have a board of 11.
If you're signing a number that they left in, then you were actually fine.
The only definite number we have is 6 as a minimum. 10 is what we're traditionally shooting for. We may be looking at having a board of 11. I just want to make a motion to affirm that will allow
It's
that.
been an open, fluid sort of thing. You're trying to limit it. It has to be a certain thing. What we've tried to do is make it more fluid.
I'm There's a misunderstanding. I'm not requesting a limit. I'm requesting an affirmation that we exceed 10, which has been informally been an upper goal.
You're setting a number on there still above something else. What's wrong with what we have right now?
Okay, let me rephrase it. I move that we allow more than 10 board members this year. There are no limits specified. I'm not restraining anyone. We're exceeding our minimum of 6.
In order to vote that in, it's changing the bylaws in order to do that. It can't be done until...
I don't believe
Well,
it's a
I'm
change to the
confused.
bylaws.
Can
The
I ask a
bylaws
question?
permit it.
Point of
We just
clarification, yes.
want to
I
affirm
don't
it.
understand the reason for putting it out in the first place. It's already permitted. You're clarifying something that's unclarified or already clarified. You're trying to pinpoint, which there's really no reason for it. It's just a semantics statement. All it is.
Just point of clarification, there can be 11 members on this committee?
We're saying at least.
The board? Okay.
It doesn't have a number of, it doesn't have to be a certain thing.
I was going to ask the very same question. Are we, I don't know why we're arguing.
I don't even,
I think if 11 people want to do it, 11 people are going to do it.
yeah, there's no stopping it.
I'm happy with that
Okay,
answer.
thank you. Just want to make sure, because again, if we're going to clarify something, then we have to have that certain number, the minimum of 6 that we've asked for. And if we clarify it in one certain house, we don't make it, like we need to stand. So, it's a semantics issue. There isn't a degree to clarify beyond whatever it is.
Thank you.
At least to me. Okay, so it looks like we've done everything. Anybody want to continue meeting, or is anybody ready to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all for attending.
Good.